Good afternoon, everyone. And it's an honor to be here talking to you about my purpose. I think you started with purpose, and I'll carry on the purpose further. But before I do that, I think it's really very important for us to just close our eyes and think about the next generation of this country, right? The new generation, which is Gen Z, and further beyond that also. And also that, how do you see the new Bharat or the developed India of tomorrow? So just think about it for a second, and then let me take you through the same journey from my own eyes. So you might be thinking that we'll have large buildings, yeah, we'll have a lot of good colleges, universities, business schools, large hospitals, bridges, better infra, smart cities across the country, right? And we will be thinking about all the things which can actually give us the best of the luxury and a better life, and that's what everybody wants to do that. But for me, it is slightly different, because for me, when I look at a farmer who is in a village, right, this farmer should be clearly clear about his own life. He should not have any financial uncertainty in life. Or maybe a girl who, if she is able to plan for her own education, then that's what I would like to look forward to. Or maybe a young couple which has just come to a large city like Mumbai, and they want to build a better life for themselves and their kids and their families and future generations. I think that is what I would like the new India to be, right? A new India wherein people do not have any kind of worries. They can live their lives with dignity, with purpose, and with a very, very clear mind that, okay, I'm not worried about anything. I have got financial freedom. Now for this, my purpose is to build a financially sustainable and educated India. And when I say educated India, it's very, very clear that education empowers people. Education empowers people, and when you empower people, employability and entrepreneurship automatically happens. You're not worried, right? So education can empower, and we have to ensure that a country wherein we have got 42% financial literacy, as per the Reserve Bank of India report, and 4% of us are only financially educated. So 42% is the literacy, and 4% are financially educated. So look at the situation in which we are. But what is really very important for us is to actually go ahead and learn this topic, which has never been taught to us. Now, if you look at our schools, our colleges, our universities, or you go to a corporate life also, you will be very clearly seeing that people do not have any knowledge about their own personal finances. They practically struggle. In fact, I've seen CEOs, CFOs, CHROs, and very, very senior people who are leaders. When it comes to managing the P&L accounts and balance sheets of their companies, they do it so well that you'll be amazed. But when you ask a question to them that what is happening with your own personal finances, they struggle. They do not have any answer. Why? Because it has not been taught to them. We have learnt it in a very hard way. We have gone through a lot of difficult time, right, ourselves, right? And for me, when I thought about this purpose, it's practically a few years back, I would say 2 years back only, when I was interacting in a seminar like this, and a lady asked me a question that, you are talking about financial planning. For me, financial planning is only for riches, only for elites. And that was an eye-opener question to me, that is it only for the riches? For me, financial planning is about managing life, not about managing money. And this is something which all of us should understand. It is about an India wherein everybody knows that, okay, this is the way in which I need to earn, save, and then grow, right? We as a society have been a society of savers. We have always saved money. If you look at traditional times, right, our parents, our grandparents, they used to buy their houses or cars post their retirement. That, okay, I'll get a large money, a corpus through the Provident Fund, and I'll go ahead and buy so many amenities for myself at a later date. And we have become an economy from a earn, worry, and spend economy to a spend, worry, and earn economy, wherein we spend money first and then worry, from where will I earn and repay? Look at the challenge we are going through. Why? Because so many options are there, so many financial products have come to this country. We are growing very, very fast. If you look at the number of investors in our country, there are more than 13 crore investors in this country. But are they aware of how their money is moving, how things are happening with them, who is actually doing it for them? The economies across the world, if you look at US, which has become a 51% passive market, wherein people directly invest, they do not go through a fund manager. There is no active investing there. India is 17% passive today. And times to come, you will see that India is going to change. India will be 50% and above passive. But are we aware of how to actually go ahead and manage all those things? Are we clear that how to go ahead and manage our retirement? We are going through 3 big challenges in this country today. The number one is pollution. You know that we have got the most polluted city in this country, which is Delhi. Everybody knows that, right? And it is the most polluted city in the world practically because of the situations Delhi is going through. Upskilling is another challenge for this country, wherein if you do not go ahead and continuously develop yourself through continuous professional development and education, you'll be out of the market. You are not required because you have to go ahead and upskill yourself continuously. And the third challenge is about education. Look at the gross enrollment ratio that we have. It is around 28%. Under the National Education Policy 2020, we are looking forward to making it to 56%. Then also it is pretty low. And I'm sure that it might take another 5 to 10 years for us to reach there. Now, in this room, barring the few people who are sitting along with me in the front rows, the average age for you would be somewhere around 20, 21, 22 maximum, right? The average age of our country today is 28.2. We are the youngest country in this world. And because we are the youngest country in this world, practically we are needed everywhere else wherein they need leaders for tomorrow. Look at Japan, look at China, they are aging population. But do you know that by 2040, we will be aging, right? We'll be reaching an average age of somewhere around 39. And then our average will go further by 2047 when we are looking at New Bharat or the developed India, right? By then, the average will be somewhere around 48 or 50. We'll be similar to Japan and China and the various other countries which are there. Are we prepared for our own retirements? Are we prepared for our second innings? We are not. We do not know how to go ahead and plan for these things. From where should I get this education and take care of things? So today I want to tell you something, that it is really very important that you learn it. You learn it yourself. If you have learned it, go and teach it to someone, right? And then further, go and share it. It is really very important, learning, teaching, and then sharing. Because if you have got one idea, and I have got one idea, we do not share it with each other. You'll remain with one, and I will also remain with one idea only. However, if all of us together join hands and say that, okay, we will share ideas with each other. Think about it, if we are 100 people sitting in this room, we will have 100 ideas each, right? And it is practically said that people who innovate and discover, people who innovate and discover, they are known as scientists, right? But people who are able to commercialize that opportunity and do innovation, they are entrepreneurs and people who work in the corporate sector. And we can practically do that by learning about our own personal finances in life. That's really very important for each Indian, because if one Indian is able to understand this, right? Think about this, that the family will understand this better. If the family is sustainable, then automatically what happens is the society and the economy becomes sustainable. We should not look at economy's sustainability when it comes to finance from the top. If you look at Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, it clearly talks about the sustainable finance for the economies. But what about the individual who is there on the grassroots? Each and every individual, each and every family needs to be shown this path. They have to be given this direction so that they are able to manage their lives better. Financial planning is not about managing money. Financial planning is about managing life. And that's really very important. So wherever we are, whatever we do, sustainability will play a very important role. We have to think about financial planning as a fundamental right, because it will give us freedom. We are still not fully free from whatever has come to us from the legacy, right? We have to take that freedom. We have gone through a very difficult time ourselves. Like, think about it, that our parents, grandparents, they used to earn salaries when it was in 70s. They used to earn salaries in hundreds. Right? Come to 80s and 90s, people started talking about salaries in thousands. Yeah, my salary is 5,000 rupees, my salary is 10,000 rupees. And then what happened is 1999, 2000, when we opened the banking, financial services, insurance, and the telecom industry, we started talking about CTCs. Yeah, CTCs in lakhs. And look at this, that post 2020, India actually talks about CTCs in crores also. So people have got a lot of money. And I'll tell you a very small story. One boy, his dad is an army officer, right? Retired army officer. And this boy earns a salary of around 70 lakhs per annum. Then also he's not able to save a single rupee. By 15th day, his money is gone. Now think about it, that if you are waiting for your salary month on month, after say 10 or 15 days, it's like a disease. It's like a symptom. So what is important for us to understand is that we have to practically go ahead and understand these things for our own better life. You have to think about your own emergency funds. You have to think about your creation of your retirement funds. You have to think about how to manage taxes and insurance and your own personal risk. I'll tell you, in B schools, when we are taught about the business risk management. Nobody teaches us things related to our own personal risk management. We also have got a lot of risks which are there. So you have to learn them. Nobody tells us that, okay, when I'm not there, what legacy I'm going to leave for my family? How do I actually go ahead and plan for that legacy? It is also really very important for all of us to learn that. And this learning, this education can empower this country and create a new Bharat of tomorrow. If we are looking at creating the new Bharat or the Viksit Bharat by 2047, it is really very important for us to go ahead and educate people at large. As much education we can give, whether we are in school, college, university, or in the corporate sector, whatever we are doing in our life, you are from any walk of life, it is really very important for you to learn about these things. We have not been taught, we have burnt our fingers, our hands, and practically a lot of things in our body, and then we learned, right? And I'm talking about myself, right? So most of us, when we were growing, nobody told us that, okay, how to go ahead and manage all these things. And we practically struggled, right? So I don't want the new generation or the next generation of this new Bharat to struggle further. It is really very important that you start learning it from today. Okay, don't worry about this thing that, okay, you have to go and pick up a professional certification only for your careers. What is really very important is that you learn it as a life skill. A life skill which can transform your life. It is a journey of transformation for each and every individual who is staying in this country. And for all of us, if we have to see a strong, financially sustainable, a very much resilient, purpose-driven country, then we have to have this knowledge for our own future and everybody's future. If we do not do this, my friends, we will be struggling again. Look at this, that when we retire and the retiring population is sitting in front, I'm also a part of it, right? So we will be going through this in, say, next 15 years from now, or say 20 years from now. You guys would be going through this 30 years or 40 years from now. Can you start preparing for it from today? So for me, it is about not what's now. It is practically about what's next. And when I say what's next, is the future of this country. You all are what's next for me. If you start planning, you start looking at a better direction for yourself. If you're able to manage things better for yourself, and the people who are associated with you, you will be able to create a very strong mark. And as I said, education empowers people. Education, once you give it to people, once they are empowered, automatically entrepreneurship and employability will happen. Always remember, employability has got two words into it, employment and ability, right? Focus on ability, employment will automatically come to you. There are so many opportunities for people to make a good career out of it. Rest is with you, and you have a very strong future in hand. Please go ahead and protect it and learn it and balance it in the right fashion, because balance sheet needs to be balanced. It cannot be only the asset side. You have to also look at the liabilities, right? So thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to interacting with you in future once again.